Cindy, I can see you. Can you hear and see us okay?
Yep, all is good.
Excellent, great.
Sherman, how many do we need for a quorum? Couldn't remember.
We need 1/2. So in this case, I believe I want to say we need
4?
4.
Okay.
And we heard I believe that Ray and Natalie and Deb are all able to join
Okay, excellent.
for sure.
Great,
There's Ray.
You hear me okay?
Hi, Ray.
Can
Hi
see and
there.
hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Deb.
Ma'am, we
Hi.
can. Hello.
Thanks.
Hey, I think, Sherman, we have 4, right? So I'm showing 3 o'clock. So
Yes.
okay, then I will call this meeting to order at 3 o'clock on November 6th. Hopefully you have all had a chance to look at the minutes from October 9th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
This is Ray, so move.
Thank you,
Second,
Ray.
it's Deb.
Thanks, Deb. Any discussion? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the discussion agenda. Sherman, it is all yours.
All right, thank you so much. So the Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology is requesting approval to begin a program in automation engineering technology. This would consist of a Certificate C and an Associate of Applied Science. They plan to begin this program in the fall of 2026. This happens to be one of the programs that has undergone the process of program alignment, and WSU Tech does intend to meet the state alignment. They also do intend to offer this to high school students, and a letter of support from the Mays USD 266 is also included in the packet. Concerning demand, this is a high wage occupation in the most recent Kansas Department of Labor listing. The 10-year projections show an annual change in employment of 0.2%, annual openings of 71, an associate degree being the typical education level for occupation entry, and an annual median wage of a little over $73,000 per year. When we look at Lightcast, pardon me, from September of 2024 through September of 2025, we see a total of 26 unique postings. There is not sufficient data for the median salary, and 76% of postings indicate an associate degree for entry in the occupation when we remove those job postings with no education level indicated. For the Perkins CLNA, WSU Tech indicated that on the most recent CLNA, the region showed no concentrators for 61 annual openings. There were 7 letters of support provided with the proposed program, and those supports and commitments included interviewing graduates for available positions, equipment donations, access to applied learning opportunities, and serving on the advisory committee. We currently have 4 institutions offering this program based on zip code or program title. You have academic year 2024 K-TIP data before you at the bottom of page 4. I would mention, pardon me, I would mention that the last program in that lineup is the Salina Area Technical College program, which in fact is a combination of industrial maintenance and automation engineering technology. They managed to combine those 2 programs and meet the alignment for both of those programs within that one. But that is a brand new program, so we don't yet have data for it. And that's why you see it listed the way that you do. Collaboration with other institutions. WSU Tech explained that they did collaborate with the other institutions via the KSDE automation pathway creation. Of course, they participated in the program alignment process, and they've also worked with Kansas City, Kansas Community College for a DOL SCCTG grant. I'm not going to get into that because I know I've got several folks from WSU Tech on the line that can explain that much better than I can. And they have also joined an informal group of maintenance and automation programs to discuss program offerings. They're estimating the cost to initially begin this proposed program at $113,700. The funding sources include student fees and the new building planning sources. They're looking at about $3,000 in equipment and tools, $15,000 in instructional supplies, and they are also, they have existing full-time faculty, and that cost is $95,700 per year. We do have WSU Tech on the line. We did not receive any letters of comment during the comment period, and we'd stand for questions.
This is Cindy again. You did mention it's a certificate and an associate's 2-year degree, right? That we are looking at.
That is correct. 52 credit hour certificate C, and then the Associate of Applied Science would be 61 credit hours.
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sharman, just curiously, Deb, how many, when we took out the numbers that the job postings that didn't require, how many of those, I see 70%, 76% of the ones that were remaining were required an associates, but how many no education applicants do we know? I mean, was it 10 or was it 50% of the, or,
I don't know right off the top of my
Okay.
head, but I happen to have Lightcast up, so I will look that up here
I was
in
just wondering. I
Sure.
was just wondering. And the only three programs in the state?
That is correct.
No, there's more, but not the others didn't participate in the discussion with the Kansas City, Kansas Community College or Johnson County or,
These are the only institutions that run this particular program. There
Okay.
is a lot of overlap in the program area with some industrial maintenance coursework,
yeah.
but it is not the exact same program.
Are those early requirements that the high school students will have to pass? Is there similarity between the two programs in meeting those 12 hours? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head,
Oh.
but I know we've got some folks here from WSU Tech. And just to let you
Okay.
know, when I plug this back in, it was about 36% of the jobs listed for this occupation code in Lightcast did not list an education level.
Okay. Okay. 70-some%. That's a good number. Okay. Thank you.
You indicated they would enroll secondary students. Does Wichita Tech just do juniors and seniors, or do they also enroll freshmen and sophomores?
So currently, the model is for juniors and seniors. Occasionally, we do get a second semester, so a spring start sophomore that will start at the Future Ready Center. We offer the
Okay.
automation pathway at the Future Ready Center.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Comments?
This is Ray. Sharman, you said this is a high wage. What about high demand?
It's not hitting the most recent high demand tick mark from the Department of Labor. But because of the nifty new ways that the Department of Labor is reporting that data to us, I can tell you that this particular SOC code, the electrical and electronic engineering technologists and technicians, that rank is 286. So while not high demand specifically, it's 286 out of 796. And I would have to go back, and I do have those old high demand, high wage listings, but this has previously been high demand as well.
Okay.
Pretty sure. And it looks like in that latest report that our cutoff basically at the high demand level, because the Department of Labor sorted by demand, that cutoff was at 250. So out of all the occupations here in Kansas that are listed of that, what did I say? 796, 250 is where that cutoff is currently based on that current data at the high demand level, and this was 286, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, hearing no other questions, I would take a motion to approve the certificate program and associate's degree for automation engineering technology at the Wichita State University campus of Applied Sciences and Technology. A motion?
Cindy, before you do that, do we want to hear from WSU Tech representatives?
We absolutely can, Ray. Got anything to add?
Sure. Thanks, Ray. So this program is filling a need that we have currently. As Sharman said, we do offer the industrial machine maintenance program, but we've had a number of employers, those that have provided letters of support, that the need is changing from traditional mechanical maintenance into more automation specific maintenance, integration of automation in the manufacturing facilities. So this program will kind of adjust those. So we'll offer both of them, depending on which company and those needs that they have, to be able to do that. It fits nicely too. Just to remind you, we have a robotics program. So Intro to Robotics is one of the aligned courses. So we'll pull that down from robotics to add into this program. It will be housed in our new NCAT expansion building, where we'll have approximately 15,000 square feet specifically for automation training. And we get a lot of industry is pushing us to go with the technology changes to look at automation as an option for filling their workforce needs.
Scott, I'm curious, your conversations with your business and industry partners, how important is for these individuals to continue on and get a bachelor's?
So that's a great question, Ray. Specifically in the maintenance role, not as much as I think you have seen, but we've even had students that came in and did our robotics program and then transferred to WSU into what is now applied engineering. It used to be engineering technology. We see more of that instead of traditional engineering into engineering technology. I know it won't come to the TEA, so and I know I'm recorded, it's fine. WSU is actually working on a program, a 4-year program that would allow WSU Tech students in programs like automation engineer technology to transfer into some level of engineering management, engineering technology. And so we're working on that right now, and that should hopefully be at KBOR within the next few months. So at least there's a pathway that's being developed that would lead these folks into some level of management that still focuses on automation engineering process.
So this would become a 2+2?
It would be a part of that for sure. And it would look like the current program we have with WSU is the Organizational Leadership and Learning program, which is a 2+2. That's done in the School of Applied Studies, the former School of Education. This would take that model and apply it specifically in CTE areas, in manufacturing, in skilled trades, where having that engineer management role has more value.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question, Scott. Is this part of the alignment with the K-12? Do they offer this student through their K-12 program?
So you'll hear later on that the crosswalk, I know it's on the agenda, of where the AET and the industrial maintenance, both groups got together and crosswalk that. But go back to the question of you asked really, which is the core hours within the automation pathway are the same core hours, whether it's industrial maintenance or if it's automation engineer. So the short answer is yes. The students that go through an automation pathway are jump started into this program as well as into industrial maintenance.
Thank you.
Scott, what is the main industry recognized credential that ties to those two SOC codes?
So for this one, it's from ISSA, which is the International Society for Automation. It does require some post-graduation work to get students prepared. But as I say we, the big we, Sharman, Crystal, myself, other colleges, including Hutch and KCK and Johnson County, as we looked at this last year when we went through the realignment review, it's still, at least for now, the most applicable. What you'll find in the automation world is it's kind of like what we do now with streaming services. there's lots of different flavors. So if if you've got Netflix and Disney and Prime and everything else, that's kind of how it is with automation certifications. ISSA is about the only one that's comprehensive enough to check the boxes specifically for this AET program.
Oh, one final question. This is Deb. So are the Hutch, Johnson County, KCK, and Salina, are those programs all so new that they wouldn't have had students matriculate through the program? They have concentrators, but they don't have graduates.
Well, they have graduates, but those numbers have to be small cell suppressed because they're less than 5. So I don't know the exact dates. I can look up the exact dates when they've started these programs, but they have been in place for a number of years. And I know that because when we have done the program alignment, this program, let's see if we've still got, so we aligned this program originally in 2015. Now, I'm not saying that all 3 of these institutions had this program in 2015, but that was the first time we aligned it. So this program has been being offered by someone in the system since before that time.
I was just trying to figure out if majority of students take it take it perhaps in high school and don't matriculate, or they start and don't finish. If they've been in place for a while, we would think we would have had some finishers.
Well, and this is just 1 year as a snapshot. It's academic year 2024. And we can take a look also at the KTIP data. Like I said, I had to small cell suppress that because it was less than 5 for the total graduates. So it's not 0 because it is 17 between the 3 institutions.
And Charmin, if I can, I wanted to mention to Deb, this might help answer her question. So the previous program alignment only offered a Cert A and an AAS, I mean a Cert C and an AAS. It wasn't until this most recent realignment that now the Cert A and B are a part of this AET program alignment. So that could be where some of your numbers are. It's just that maybe while they were taking a few courses or whatnot, in their either their high school pathways or at post-secondary, that with only a Cert C or an AAS being an option at the time, that might be where some of the data is a little bit different than what you might expect. But now moving forward, for both AET and the Industrial Machine Maintenance Technology program, you'll probably see more of that since there is a Cert A and B going to be offered across the state for both of those programs. So that might help you a little, Deb.
Thank you, Crystal. That actually was very informative. I thought, wow, we don't have much success moving them forward. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Scott and Crystal. Any other discussion? Anybody I missed? Okay, with that, I will take a motion to approve the certificate and associate's degree. Anyone?
So moved.
I'll move. Oh, got it. I'll move that we approve the Wichita State University Campus of Applied Sciences and Technology, the program for automation engineer technology for Cert C and AAS, I believe. Isn't that correct?
That's perfect. Thank you, Deb.
Second, this is Tiffany Anderson.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Charmin, back to you.
Yes. So for the Promise Act, WSU Tech also requests this program to become Promise Act eligible. It does fall under the Advanced Manufacturing and Building Trades category specified in legislation. And this is also, as we've just discussed, a high wage occupation on the most recent list from the Department of Labor.
Any questions?
This right,
Concerns?
I approve,
Right.
I move we approve.
Thank you, Ray. Do we have a second?
Second. Dave.
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Good enough. Any opposed? Perfect. Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, Sharman, and it's
Yes.
you again. It's the Sharman
Yes,
Show.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So this is on page 7, I believe is where we start. No, it's on page 6, where we start with the Excel in CTE fee discussion. And on page 8, this is one of those scenarios that we've discussed briefly as we've talked about Excel and CTE fees, where Butler Community College contacted me and let me know that they actually have had to change their vendor for their background checks and drug screenings. So they are requesting that their Excel and CTE fees for their program in emergency medical technician, it's the 12 credit hour course is listed there, and they've requested for the spring semester to be approved for that fee to increase to $80 from the 50, because that is a difference. That is, they've lost their vendor. And I believe, do we have somebody from Butler Community College on? I believe I saw we did.
Yes, this is Evan Syward. I'm the chair of Fire and EMS Education down at Butler.
Right. So, like I said, this is kind of that similar, Ray, to that appeal process that we talked about in the last TEA meeting. But this is one of those scenarios where they have found out during the current academic year that something is changing, and so they would like to request that this be approved.
Just a clarification on my part, Sharman. When these are actual fees we approve, are they're not bands? Like, I can't remember for the different fees. I thought there was like a level that we approved, so that we weren't approving exact figures. Am I not? No.
Well, in this particular case, the way that I understand it from Evan and his team is that it was previously $50, and they know that because of that vendor change, it's actually going to go up to $80. There's, I don't know if that answers your question. There are some cases where they may not know the exact dollar amount, but it sounds, from what I've heard, it sounds like they know this one.
It just seems odd to me that we would have to approve something as small, a change like this. You would think there would be bans or something that were approved that we wouldn't have to approve a small change like this. I guess that was more of a comment than anything else. So, I mean, we do have to approve it, and that, right? We'll need a motion and everything to approve this.
Yes, please. And we can certainly discuss setting in place perhaps some sort of empowerment for KBOR staff that, depending on XYZ change, that perhaps we can be empowered on behalf of the authority to approve certain changes. But yes, right now, especially if they're going to increase, we have been providing the guidance to the institutions that they should bring those forward for approval.
I kind of agree with Cindy that we ought to be able to figure out something with some limitations or whatever, or plus or minus ban or something, band, something like that, because yeah, I mean, they need those tests. We want the kids and we want them to be able to have the background checks and do everything we need to have them do. So, and they probably don't need to all come. I don't know what the line is, but I think it's a good idea, Cindy.
Yeah, this is Ray. I move we approve the request.
This is Dave, I'll second that.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Dave. Any opposed? Do it that way. Very good. Motion carries. All right. Thank you very much. And yep. No, Carmen, you get a rest.
I do. It's Crystal. It's Crystal
this
show.
time.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Hoover, and good afternoon, everyone. So for program alignment, I have for your review, very timely with WSU Tech's submission earlier, the Automation Engineer Technology Articulated Credit Alignment with the Kansas State Department of Education. You will hear me refer to this post-secondary technical program as AET throughout the presentation. It's quite a mouthful sometimes on the title, so AET will be how I'll refer to it most of the time. So as an extension of the program alignment model, the AET Articulated Credit Crosswalk presented today is an alignment of articulated course credit between the secondary and post-secondary technical education programs across Kansas. In accordance with both state and federal statutes, a Perkins Reserve Grant was developed for statewide articulated credit to fall under Phase 5 of our program alignment process. The Automation Engineer Technology Program was last realigned in 2024, so again, a very recent realignment. With the current program realignment, the competencies identified within Common Courses do represent opportunities for articulation with KSDE. The KBOR AET program realignment will be implemented in fall 2026, so colleges still have had a little bit of time to get that in place. The new KSDE automation engineering pathway was implemented in fall 2025, and it will be a part of the Advanced Manufacturing Career Cluster Review that is currently underway for implementation in fall 2027 at KSDE. And so this is what Scott was referring to in some of the work that post-secondary had partnered with KSDE to make this specific automation engineering pathway possible. So a Perkins Reserve Grant was established to provide a $2,500 stipend each for up to 2 post-secondary faculty representatives to help create a crosswalk of articulated credit options from KSDE pathway courses to KBOR Common Courses and aligned programs. Pending TEA approval, the crosswalk included in your committee packet that we have showing right now will be converted into a statewide automation engineer technology articulation map for the alignment of secondary coursework to post-secondary coursework. I'd also like to mention that on page 12, the next page, that the crosswalks notes section, number 2, has a citation that was taken from KSDE's Career Cluster Guidance Handbook. At the time the project was done, this was from the previous handbook. So I will be updating that now that that's been released to the 2026-27 citation. None of the verbiage changes, it's just the citation that's going to change. So back to page 11, preferred candidates for the grant were our AET faculty representatives having experience with the post-secondary program alignment process, as well as secondary level pathway review courses. The grant recipients selected for this project were Ali Abdal-Sutar from Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and Tony Lockwood from Johnson County Community College. And I believe I at least see Tony on the line. I'm not sure if Dr. Abdal-Sutar was able to join us today. But both are serving as an associate professor with their respective colleges' AET program, and they have revised the program structure and curriculum to meet the recent program alignment. Dr. Abdal-Sutar has a mechanical engineering background, working in industry as a management and training specialist in the oil and gas sector, has experience in advanced manufacturing, and previously aligning 2-year to 4-year degrees, including accreditation efforts. While Mr. Lockwood has a background working with controls design and integration, project management and advising, and electrical engineering across various industries, including water and wastewater, oil, gas, and mining, agriculture, and many diverse manufacturing processes. The AET program faculty and administrators from 3 colleges, KSDE staff, and KBOR staff met virtually on September 2nd to review the articulated credit crosswalk proposal. This crosswalk was again based on comparisons of KSDE pathway course competencies to our KBOR common course competencies and pre-existing caveats included in the KSDE statewide articulation agreements with individual 2-year colleges. As a result, KSDE high school courses from the automation engineering pathway were selected for articulated credit alignment with the KBOR common courses for AC/DC circuits, industrial fluid power, programmable logic controllers, and industrial robotics. This is actually one of our largest articulated credit crosswalks that we've had so far since we've begun these projects. So we did a little color coding here to hopefully point that out to you and make it a little bit easier to organize. It was determined that there was no available industry recognized certification for high school students that could directly match the combination of high school courses. And so that really goes back to what Mr. Lucas said earlier about those certifications that are possible, but it's generally going to be for a little bit higher level than our high school students. So with that, the proposed AET articulated credit crosswalk was issued for presidential comment from September 17th to October 1st. No comments requesting modifications to the proposed crosswalk were received. So with that, the AET articulated credit crosswalk has been reviewed by our board staff and is recommended for approval by the Technical Program and Curriculum Committee. So with our faculty who are on the call with us, we would stand for any questions the committee may have.
Any questions from anyone?
Crystal, it's Deb. How many, you said 3 institutions participated in the review. And then how many institutions offer the 12 classes, or is it, I'm sorry, 7, the 7 prerequisites?
So it is 3 with that extra Salina that's a combined version, and they actually didn't attend our AET articulated credit alignment, but they did attend our IMMT, which I'll be talking about next. So there's so much crossover between those 2 programs that currently we do only have 3 specifically offering that AET aligned program right now.
But do the manufacturing programs, as institutions that have those programs, do they offer these classes?
Yes, so that's where we get into our industrial machine maintenance technology program, and that I'll be speaking about next. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions before I'll go ahead and Crystal have you talk about the next one, and then we'll vote on both of them together.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. So for program alignment, I have for review the Industrial Machine Maintenance Technology Articulated Credit Alignment with the Kansas State Department of Education. And with this one, you will hear me refer to it as IMMT. Again, a really long title, kind of get tongue-tied sometimes with those. So as an extension of our program alignment model, the IMMT articulated credit crosswalk presented today is an alignment of articulated course credit between, once again, our secondary and post-secondary technical education programs across the state of Kansas. In accordance with both the state and federal statutes, the Perkins Reserve Grant was developed for statewide articulated credit to fall under our Phase 5 of the program alignment process. This industrial machine maintenance technology program was last realigned in 2024. With the current program alignment, we identified competencies within the common courses that represented opportunities for articulation with KSDE. So the new KBOR IMMT program realignment will be implemented in fall 2026. So that's when our colleges are expected to have these in place. The KSDE manufacturing pathway is part of the current Advanced Manufacturing Career Cluster Review that is currently underway, and it will also be due for implementation in fall 2027 at KSDE. The Perkins Reserve Grant was established to provide that $2,500 stipend for each for up to 2 post-secondary faculty representatives to create the crosswalk of articulated credit options from our KSDE pathway courses to our KBOR common courses and aligned programs. Again, pending TEA approval, the crosswalk you'll see here on the screen is included in your committee packet, and it will be converted into a statewide industrial machine maintenance technology articulation map for the alignment of secondary coursework to post-secondary coursework. And I'd like to mention again that this is the same where number 2 in the crosswalks note section has a citation that will be updated to match with KSDE's newest cluster guidance handbook for 2026-27. None of the verbiage will change, just the year and page number. So preferred candidates for the grant were IMMT tech faculty representatives having experience with post-secondary program alignment processes, as well as secondary level pathway course reviews with KSDE. The grant recipients selected for this project are Chaz Havens from Washburn Tech and Nicholas Stricker from WSU Tech. I did see Nicholas on here. I'm not sure that Chaz was able to make it today. But both have actively participated in the revision of their respective colleges' IMMT program structure and curriculum to meet the most recent program realignment. And Dr. Havens is an Assistant Dean of Instructional Services with a background in electronics maintenance and repair, motor controls, machine mechanics, and technical education instruction. He has experience working in diverse industry sectors, including the military, defense and space manufacturing, and mailing distribution services. Where Mr. Stricker is an industrial automation instructor with a diverse background in metal fabrication, metal and composite structural repair, machine mechanics, and service training and instruction. He has extensive experience working in various industries, including aviation, recreation, and integrated manufacturing. So our IMMT program faculty and administrators from 7 colleges, KSDE staff, and KBOR staff met virtually on August 27th to review the articulated credit crosswalk proposal. The crosswalk was based on the comparisons of the KSDE pathway course competencies to our KBOR common course competencies, and again, the pre-existing caveats included in KSDE statewide articulation agreements with the individual to your colleges. As a result, there was one KSDE high school course from the manufacturing pathway that was selected for articulated credit alignment with the KBOR common course for AC/DC circuits. But as a related reminder, welding courses in the same KSDE manufacturing pathway have already been included in the welding technology articulation map that was approved by the TEA in August 2024. So on top of the one course that you are seeing with this current IMMT articulation, there are welding courses from that previous welding articulation. So the proposed IMMT articulated credit crosswalk was issued for presidential comment from September 16th to September 30th. We received no comments for modifications to the proposed crosswalk. And with that, the proposed IMMT articulated credit crosswalk has been reviewed by our board staff and is recommended for approval by the Technical Program and Curriculum Committee. And with that, we would stand for any questions you may have.
No questions, Crystal, but I do want to thank you and the rest of the team. This was obviously a lot of work, and we appreciate all that went into it. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And we were very lucky to have some good candidates to help us flesh all of this out, and also the previous help that we received on those other program realignments for these programs.
So I also want to say thank you. And I'd have a clarifying question, Crystal.
Sure.
On the automation engineering technology, there's 2 courses that qualified for the ACDC circuit course.
Mhm.
On the industrial machine maintenance technology, just 1 course? Would there be consideration of or?
So the reason for that, Natalie, is that only one of those courses is offered in manufacturing,
Correct.
where both courses were offered for the other pathway. So it's not that you can't have MOUs in place or your statewide articulation agreements that you guys put together at KSDE. It's just that we specifically look at the courses that are in the exact KSDE pathway and compare that directly with the KBOR aligned program. So it would be up to your individual MOUs if they wanted to include that. I assume that they probably would, but since that second course is not offered as a part of the manufacturing pathway, at least at this time, it wasn't added to this articulation crosswalk.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just have a observation or point. First, thank you. This is hard work. I know, and it's good work or needed. From our last general meeting, we identified or had questions on what's needed and what's not. And I keep thinking future, if we have more such questions about the importance of what is funded or what is not. I'm trying to think, how do we evaluate, and I'm not asking for answers or something, I'm just trying to figure out for future, what are the most important courses that hit the largest number of students that also cross with demand for our state. And I think that as we look to if we have to pick what we support, I just come back to maybe we need to figure out a little bit of a model, because I'm looking anyway. The process. I know industrial maintenance has tons of students. We can't keep them going. And you have multiple institutions that have those programs. So that one I get. And I know there are schools that need the automation and the technical. So I'm actually just telling you, I don't know how at some point, how we identify the most important courses, especially if we're doing a matriculation or alignment between high school and the 2-year colleges. It's not a question, it's just an observation. So thank you for the hard work.
Yes, thank you. Good food for thought.
Deborah, I agree with you. And when you have declining dollars at the state level, it makes it that much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're not asking for an answer. I would just offer up that historically, those programs that we have pursued the program alignment process with have historically been those areas where we do see pretty significant demand. So when you look at those 25 programs that have undergone program alignment, they are a lot of healthcare, and you've got welding, HVAC, electrical, these programs. So we have tried in the program alignment process to kind of target the areas most ubiquitous across the state, majority of students certainly, and then also that kind of demand factor. It's not a complete list by any stretch, but that is certainly consideration. As I can't remember if Rita has joined, but I think that was part of how they were originally identifying some of those programs to start that alignment process on.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Charmin. Thank you, Crystal. Any other questions? Okay, if not, I will ask for a motion to approve the articulated credit agreements for automation engineering technology and industrial machine and maintenance technology.
So moved. This is Natalie Clark.
Thank you, Natalie. Second.
I'll second. Dave Rest.
Thanks, Dave. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you all very much. And with that, I think we're at the end of our planned agenda. Nothing to add, Charmin, or anything? Okay,
No, ma'am.
fantastic. Reminder, we do have a meeting on Thursday, December 4th. So I know that's a busy time, so please plan for that. And with that, if there's no other comments or questions, we will adjourn.
Thanks
Okay.
all.
We're done. Thanks for
Thank
hanging
you for
in
stepping
with
in,
me, people.
Cindy.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Everyone
Thank
have
you.
a wonderful rest of your day.